So outrageous the toll. You can lose all you have. We refuse to give in to the town that takes all. To survive, you must have the will. How this movie doesn't end the way we want. All the time, and he shouts at the moon. She's gone. Fears overcome. He was walking a mile. He was walking alone. All
Alright, everybody, welcome to Funk Dunk Plays Season 2, Episode, good God, 18? This show can vote. What the hell?
Not drink.
It can vote, and no, it can't drink, but it can buy cigarettes. No, not in Maine, though. They changed that, didn't
That's
they?
weird.
Yeah, Maine, I think they raised cigarettes up to 21.
Why?
Or they tried to. I don't know if they did.
If you, I think if you can vote, you should be allowed to do everything else too. That's just silly. I mean, those 3 years ain't gonna save your life. So
And of course, then there's the big argument everyone has is, well, if they can be sent to war, then why can't
yeah,
they have a cigarette?
yeah.
You know, it's like, well, you put it that way, that does make a lot of sense.
It does.
You know, I mean, when do you need a drink and a smoke more than when people are trying to actively kill you? You know, you need to relax.
Not easy to come by, I think, but
Yeah, where we last left off with our intrepid adventurers, Eliza the Snake Lady, and the Changeling. Yeah, I was going to say but then I got that I wanted to say something. The everything else. You had just been about to bask in the fact that you had completely kicked butts.
oh yeah.
Then a researcher came in, or like not right, researcher, that's the wrong word, but you know, like a cult nerd came in, having gotten a communication from one of their spies who apparently died, like, while sending them the communication. Like, that's how, like, deep this spy had gotten he was that deep in the butt, you know. We're talking, like, shoulder deep into the butt at this point.
Mm.
We're talking, like so deep in the butt he could be doing dental work. And,
Impressive.
that's how deep he was, and then he got caught when he was sending the transmission, apparently, because the way it ended implied that he was about to get killed. That there was, in fact, a backup plan in case something went wrong with the anomaly they were doing all their research on. The episode ended with Gold looking at
The camera.
the communication, and then looking at the camera and just saying, "You have got to be kidding me."
We're gonna spend the rest of this campaign just gathering all the remaining season 1 characters. It's like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
Eventually, it's just gonna be a room full of Eugene.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing, you know.
Honestly, yeah, I wouldn't. If it were the Eugene we know, I wouldn't mind a room full of Eugene. Think of all the Eugene you could have. You could be an all Eugene orgy.
Been waiting for this for a long time. Hey, Eugene.
Hi, Eugene. We really like you.
Yes, we do.
Please, make us a video of you having an orgy with yourself. I don't know how you do that. Invent some cloning science and do it.
Your fans demand it.
That's the fan art we want. Is the all Eugene orgy fan art?
It goes a little beyond fan art. That's a project.
If that goes beyond fan art, it goes into straight fat material. I mean, it's like just pure pornography, and it's wonderful.
It's amazing. I can basically see it right now.
I can see it every night, actually, before I go to bed. Bad little me
Straight
time.
back to sexual harassment.
Me and Eugene. All 40 of them. Okay,
Now everyone is sufficiently uncomfortable.
now that we've alienated the audience, and now we've made Eugene feel uncomfortable about listening to our show, we've reduced our audience by a third. Let's just talk about Stellarus' dick for a while now.
Also something I wouldn't be opposed to seeing, really. So...
There was, if you guys had tried to go to assassinate him without sending Muddler, there was going to be an entire penis-related subplot to that.
Of course it would have.
Oh, when I statted him out, I included his dog.
Of course you did. I mean...
In fact, it's in here. Prince Stellarus, Master of Dong-style defense. 50-50 chance his wang will block any attack.
As if you go for a headshot, it's just shoot up.
It'll just like, zing, bing, block.
Can we harass some more of our friends? Can we do that? It's really fun.
I don't really know John Paul enough to to make him uncomfortable.
I bet Jade has some dirt on him.
Oh, probably.
She's had some sessions with him.
Yeah, I mean, well, we saw how the last one ended. He insulted Elisa, and he died.
Yeah, I do. I remember being like, "Wow, he's actually really good at this." I feel like she should have just edited out everything, including me, because he's way better than me.
You're all pretty.
Yeah, but he's prettier.
You don't insult snake people, especially murderous ones.
I do. All right, so.
Okay, so we're reading that.
Yeah, you're reading that.
What exactly does it say?
Basically, the communication from the spy states that there is a super secret location that is in a cave that is located far to the west. Well, not like super far, but pretty far to the west. And in this cave, deep in the cave, they are holding a second anomaly. A creature that seemingly, can survive the end of everything. But this one is hyper secret. Whereas, even, like, they're keeping the primary anomaly, keeping in a secret room at Reginald Butt's mansion. Reginald, who's a mid-level butt. That's because that made it easier to get researchers and all that to try to study it and figure out how to use it. However, they also realized that would put them in a kind of precarious position. So when they discovered a second one, they hid it away, and only the very upper echelon of butts even knows it exists. And this spy had to go super deep, hyper undercover. But when he was sending the message, he knew he'd been discovered. He was basically cornered and was sending the message magically. And he knew that they were going to find and kill him almost immediately.
So we have an army of Welpians now, right? How about we just storm this place and kill the bloody thing?
It doesn't say where it is, right?
Yeah, it said it was in a cave, and I assume it gave the location of the cave, right?
Right. The exact location?
Not the exact location, just sort of a generalized area. Because, like I said, the guy was... Oh, I'm assuming it was a guy. Who knows? Might have been a woman, might have been a parakeet. Who knows? The spy, at least, was basically cornered and about to be murdered, and didn't have time to... and hadn't had a chance, really, to get the exact location of it. And even if he had gotten the exact location, it wouldn't have had time to transmit the coordinates magically, because, didn't even get to completely finish the message before getting spluted.
Our safest course of action right now and immediately might be to dispose of our little anomaly over there. I'll point to Dave.
Do we know exactly how they plan to survive with that thing? Because we could do the same now.
No, we didn't even know what the anomaly was until recently. Or even of it. They've been researching this for unknown amounts of time. It is assumed that there is some sort of a ritual involved. High-level magics of some kind. but certainly not known how exactly it is to be done. We have good individuals working on it, but the Butts had a significant head start in both time and resources on us.
We read some of the head researcher's notes back in Butt Manor. It spoke of something called... And I, legitimately don't remember. It's something about this... The second god's... What was it called?
It was the old god of the Second Kingdom.
Right. Something called the old god of the Second Kingdom. And that was the key. Ever heard of that?
Actually, why don't... Did I actually end up having you do a
History?
like a religion check or something? Yeah, to see if you knew what that meant?
No.
Because you were raised by a cult. You weren't homeschooled, you were cult schooled. So I mean, I feel you'd have a chance of knowing this stuff.
Okay, cool thing. 25. Might be enough.
Maybe. It turns out, yes, you did have a religious history class.
So then that question doesn't make any sense.
No, you don't know it. Wait, actually it does. It's phrased differently.
Okay.
You don't know exactly how it would pertain to the anomaly and the Nightmare King and all that, but you know what is meant by the phrase "the old god," or the old god of the Second Kingdom. The era of the Second Kingdom was between roughly 2,000 and 1,500 years ago. That was the reign of the Second Kingdom. It was this area. You know, it ended about 1,500 years ago when the entire town was destroyed by roving barbarians and all of the towns around it. And they just basically burnt everything to the ground, and people had to, rebuild, and the existing power structure was completely destroyed. But when they rebuilt, they decided to use indoor plumbing, because it just made more sense. Yeah, they're like, you know what, man? Everything we own is on fire or now dust. Let's build a flush toilet.
That would be my reaction as well.
Yeah, they're just reasonable people. The fall of the Second Kingdom is also at least corollarily connected with the ending of the worship of their monotheistic god. They only believed in one god.
How weird.
Yeah. However, according to their legends, and going back 2,000 years, especially with the entire civilization being destroyed 500 years later, there aren't a lot of concrete records. There are a lot of legends and oral histories and stuff. There was a god of good and a god of evil about 2,000 years ago. And the god of evil either was killed, left, or was banished. And when it left, that created a power vacuum in the form of a bunch of other gods either arrived or were brought into existence to sort of fill the void that was left by this god of evil leaving. As time went by, all these gods that filled the void, they weren't all evil gods. Most of them were good gods. The thing about gods is they tend to be very competitive. They tend to be very egotistical. And the god of the Old Kingdom, having never had real competition outside of the one god of evil, never had multiple gods to compete with, was rather quickly fell out of favor with the populace because all the other new gods were offering all this cool shit. Oh, I'm the god of unending parties. Oh yeah, well I'm the god of getting laid. Oh yeah, well I'm the god of becoming extremely rich. And the other one's just like, well, I'm the overall god of things that are good, and people are like, boring. And they started to lose followers. Eventually, around the time of the fall of the Second Kingdom, he had basically fallen out of worship entirely to this day, to this point now where basically no one even knows what, at the time, the contemporaneous name of this god was, other than the god of good.
Roland.
But anyway, this And that's what they mean by the old god of the Second Kingdom, is the old monotheistic god that about 1,500 years ago was replaced by the current, pantheons of gods which are worshipped today, such as the Traveler and other gods like that.
So I guess if no one else in the room knows this stuff, I can fill them in.
Okay, we can just assume that's what you just did.
Yeah.
Gods are, as they gain followers and adherents, the faith of the followers powers the gods. Yeah. So that when this monotheistic god lost all his followers, he lost all his power and sort of just died.
It's like Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, basically. The more followers you are, the more powerful you are. And also the more people will pay attention to you, so you got to be careful not to accidentally use the N-word. Because whoops! Now I lost my paid YouTube account.
Yeah, that's what it was like back to 2,000 years ago.
And all you know about really what the researchers got was that there was something that included either the god himself or something to do with the religion around him and the rituals around him, or something about that is what they think is a secret to utilizing the anomaly to survive the end of the world.
Dave was alive 1,500 years ago, yeah?
A Dave. Yep, A Dave.
Oh, A Dave.
One of his lives.
Get him in. So Gold, basically, because I asked Gold if he'd ever heard of that, he hasn't?
Upon being told that he knows what you're talking about, he doesn't know the name of the god. He knows basically the same stuff that I just told you that you know. That's basically what he knows, because that's like the stuff that gets taught, in the religious history classes in the Church of the Many.
Okay.
So Dave would know what the name of the god is.
Are they still standing outside drinking coffee?
Yes, they are, and they're now talking to the guard, who is at the door to the conference room, and the guard is trying to explain to them the rules of the Dickimon trading card game. Because they're the collectible card game of Dickimon, because neither Dave nor Stellaris has ever played it, and he's trying to explain to them how the different types of cards work, and how if you land on a strap-on, use a strap-on card, then how that will affect your opponent's dick points and stuff. It's a whole thing to it.
Yeah, it sounds super interesting.
It is. They're both rapt, just completely just sitting. It's completely in awe. Muddler is just sort of standing there, somehow also drinking coffee, but he doesn't seem to be all that interested in the Dickimon game, probably because he totally got it the first time that it was explained, because he's a machine, and he's just why are they going over the tragedy levels again? That's what he'd be thinking if he were human.
I hate to break this up, but I want to call over you, Anomaly. See if that does anything.
Dave is very, very engrossed in cock talk right now.
Alright, what kind of spells do I have? Because I'm not going to walk over there.
I got prestidigitation. I could just make some sparks pop up in front of his face.
Okay.
So I'll just snap my fingers, a bunch of sparkles all pop up in front of his face. And,
Hey, you! Idiot, get in here!
Oh, they mean me. I'll be back. And he opens the door and goes in, comes up and goes up to the table, and sort of looks around and goes, "Yeah? Well, what do you need?"
You were alive on this plane 1,500 years ago, is that right?
Oh yeah, this is my third go around here.
Jesus.
I don't know why I keep getting born on this plane. It's really weird. Up until now, I don't think only one I've been born on twice was this place called, what is it? Fahrenheit? I don't know. But there were a bunch of dragons there, and it was really scary.
No doubt. Have you ever heard of the old god of the Second Kingdom?
He looks kind of blank. I've never heard of anything that people called with those words, no.
What, was there a deity that either died or people just stopped fucking worshipping it?
Well, if you mean like 1500 years ago, I wasn't really religious then, and like a lot of people were talking about like a lot of different gods, and it was really confusing. Just because it's like there were, gods for like everything you wanted, and then like each like type of person had their own like group of gods. There were gods everywhere, and like a bunch of them did die because like they were always fighting with each other. I mean, it's a lot simpler back the first time I was here.
What happened then?
Oh, back then there was only one.
Okay. And what was that one?
Oh, that one was, oh shit, fuck, I should know that friend talked to him. Oh yeah, I think it was Otora. That's the name, yeah.
And when was that exactly?
I'm not 100% sure, but it was right around the time that we did all this stuff, so maybe like 2,000 years ago.
Would that be in the what is referred to as the Second Age?
I don't know. I don't know what the Second Age means. I know it was about, first time I was here was about 2,000 years ago.
That would be it.
Really, I thought there'd be a lot more technological advancement by now. Like, there aren't even cars, and it's really sad. But at least they got indoor plumbing now. Thank God. Outhouses are the worst.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the way these scaleless ones measure time either, so I'm not sure when the Second Age was.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it and Gold know when the Second Age was, because Eliza doesn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, it was around that time.
Yep, Second Age, the Age of the Second Kingdom was started about 2,000 years ago and ended 1,500 years ago when the roving barbarians destroyed the entire civilization.
Okay, so Dave was there at the start and end of that time.
Yep, basically, he bookended his entire kingdom.
Why would the Butts assume that you had some kind of relationship with this Otora? What would lead them to this assumption?
I really don't know. I've never been, like, big with, like, gods and stuff. They tend to be, like, really strong and scary. Yeah, I really don't know. I know they were going to do something which probably was going to involve killing me in order to, use the fact that I just keep coming back to life. Like, somehow harness that, do something, but I'm not even sure what they were planning on doing. But I think it involved my guts. Several of them. Maybe even my spleen.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to figure this ritual out. So do we want to go track down this other thing and go kill it?
Why are we not killing this one?
I guess I'll glance over at Gold and see if he offers a reason not to kill him.
Gold doesn't say anything, but Dave does pipe up. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter much to me because I'll just come back to life anyway somewhere else. But, my golem might get mad if you killed me.
Well, technically, he serves us now.
No, not really. He was just on loan. I never actually relinquished my original, ritual of ownership, so he's reverted back to me.
Well, it seems like the two of them are safe enough here, for now.
It would seem that it would not make much sense to travel all the way to get rid of one anomaly and leave the other one alive. And give the Butts a chance to get it back. Any chance.
So should we bring them both along, and then just kill them both at once?
This entire conversation, Dave is remarkably nonchalant about this.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He's just like, whatever, I've been murdered so many fucking times.
But have you been murdered by a snake woman before?
Probably.
I was killed by some followers of Set once, and they worship snakes.
Yes, that's a good cult.
They believed in nothing but hedonistic pleasure.
Yeah.
And they sold a lot of heroin.
Well, at least their gods were good.
Well, Set was the, Egyptian god of, bad stuff, I think. And I think he stole the sun once. I'm not sure.
Well, he probably deserved it.
Yeah, it was a really confusing apocalypse that time. My soul got torn out of my body by an ancient vampire warrior, and for a while I haunted a mansion and freaked people out by using my ghost powers to type on a computer.
Do you think you could do that now? That might be a fun trick to play on the bats.
It's gonna pinch its nose. Not non-existent nose.
I don't know, like, it only worked because my soul was physically ripped from my body and I wasn't just killed. Like, it literally reached into myself and pulled my soul out. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would.
Well, we'll put a pin in that and consider it for later.
It is not sure how wise it would be to bring the anomaly outside of these walls.
Okay, so I guess I'll turn back, point my finger at him and say,
If you want me to kill him, just say so.
I do have perhaps one possibility of an answer. And Gold claps his hands twice and calls out for Muddler. Rather, the door opens and Muddler plods in, being followed by Extellaris, who is he didn't want to wait outside by himself, and the guard was he'd run out of cool stuff to say about Dickimon, and so it was this weird awkward silence. Gold turns over to Dave and says, "Young David, if it is already assumed that you will be murdered in the near future, would you perhaps be inclined to allow us to do it, and therefore saving time, and perhaps you may even instruct your kind butler here to not attempt to wreak holy vengeance upon us?" And he looks over at the two of you, kind of like a, huh?
Smooth.
What do you think?
Real smooth, Gold.
Okay, and I am going to now roll. I'm going to roll to persuade my own NPC to do a thing, and that is a charisma roll. And I never started out Gold, so
if he needs a backup roll, I've got a pretty good persuasion.
Oh, I can give him a guidance. I'm gonna grab his nose. He's snootless too.
Yep. Grab his fake snoot.
Is he reacting to that, or?
In my mind, he's actually wearing a prosthetic snoot right now. No, he isn't. Alright.
3.
Okay, yeah, the snoot grabbing is actually a very common thing within the many. Among the changelings, of which the majority of the many are in fact changelings. They don't have snoots, so there's this whole thing about grabbing your ghost snoot.
We're a funny bunch.
A 22. Dave sort of shrugs, and he looks over at Muddler and goes, "Okay, Muddler, they're gonna murder me now, but don't worry, I'll be fine. I'll be dead, but then I'll be alive again somewhere else, probably in a different plane of reality, and then I'll probably get murdered again. But if I'm lucky, I'll make show up here again, and then I can probably give you that upgrade we talked about, the one that ups your sassiness, because you're kind of sassy, but I feel you could be sassier. So until then, just keep hanging out with these guys, because I think they're gonna need all the help they can get, because they're not very smart." And Muddler sort of looks down and picks up Dave, all in one motion, and gives him a large but very gentle hug, and puts him down and says, "You have told me about this dying and coming back thing before. Apparently it works. That's how you're back now. I will follow your instructions and not wreak holy vengeance upon these brief mortal creatures. Us immortals got to stick together, yo."
That is utterly heartbreaking.
And Dave just turns to you guys and says, "Okay, just, if at all possible, make it quick, because I don't want to, have to spend a whole bunch of time dying, because that's, really boring."
So, I'll fire my finger gun, shoot an Eldritch Blast at his head.
I'm gonna add a blight to that. He's not trying to save, so I guess we can, right?
Yeah, I
Dispense
assume we
with
just...
Yeah, he's trying to die, basically.
Okay, cool. Huh? Oh, sorry, I rolled twice. Accidentally, that's a 37.
Yeah, my Eldritch Blast fires 3 blasts.
Okay.
14, 8, and 5.
Okay, he is looking very, very haggard, and he just looks up at you guys, he's like on one knee, and goes, "What part of Fast and Painless was too complicated for you idiots?"
Yeah, let's fire off another one. 25.
Okay, that is exactly how many hit points he had left.
Okay, so as he falls to the ground, I'm going to look over at Muddler and say,
Clean this mess up.
Savage.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's bleeding all over the carpet. We can't have that.
Muddler just says to you guys, "I suppose I could not expect appreciation of the passing of an immortal divine from such base dirt creatures such as yourselves."
Okay.
And he goes and he picks up Dave's body,
Mother getting sassy over here.
and he asks Gold for information on, well, basically the disposal of the dead within the church. He receives said information and leaves with Dave's body to do, proper disposing of the dead stuff.
While neglecting his cleaning duties.
Theoretically, this is part of his cleaning duties, as he is cleaning up the dead
It
body.
could be nice to use prestidigitation, right?
It could, yeah.
Well,
That would have to be nice.
Didn't it
yes.
cast a
Yes,
spell?
I was just waiting for the thing to...
Did you think I was going to forget?
No. 51.
After you cast Blight, but before Eliza had finished Dave off, that when he's lying there on the ground, coughing up blood, and in utter agony,
Poor thing. Oh my
You-
god.
you are suddenly filled with this feeling, is direct knowledge that now you are just great at the Panflute. You are so conflicted because you don't know exactly why you suddenly feel this way for a second, and then you realize, oh wait, wild magic, right? Panflute. Okay, that makes sense.
Is it... How easy is it now for me to get a pan flute somewhere?
You could ask Gold. They have, this is a church. They probably have a music room.
Yeah, they have like a choir and shit like
Yeah, they gotta be at least one pan flute in the building. Come on.
So Mother's cleaning up the body and it is frantically searching for a Panflute.
Yep.
So I guess Eliza... Well, that's going on. So just look over at Golden and
So I guess the meeting's adjourned for now.
Well, I do suppose we still have the question of what to do about dear Master Stellaris, the question of what to do with this apparent anomalous goat, and what to do in relation to the fact that this country appears to be about to be invaded.
My vote is to take his army, use it to find this goat and kill it. But maybe I'll have a better idea in the morning. I really need a fucking nap right now.
Because my spell slots are still used up. I haven't had a chance to restore any of them.
Yeah, and you guys have had a very big night. You have rescued and then murdered someone in the course of an hour. The same person that you rescued. Which is brilliant. Yeah, I'm going to say that you two are probably best served by going to bed and dealing with this stuff in the morning. At least that way you'll be refreshed, you'll have all your spell slots back, it'll be the morning, you'll have a day ahead of you to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, you have accidentally tortured a young man to death.
I'm sorry.
I aimed for the head.
But what I want to know, now that we didn't have time to explore this yet, now we're all important and shit, do we get different quarters?
Oh yeah, you have private quarters now.
Thank you.
Oh.
Does it look like it's good?
Huh? Oh yeah,
It's
they're
good.
they're not lavish.
No, they wouldn't be.
They wouldn't be. They're basically high priest quarters though. They're large. You have your own bathroom each. You're not sharing quarters. Each have your own
Oh.
bathroom. You each
But
have...
we're so used to being roomies now.
And they have done little... there are little things where they've already had time to personalize the rooms a little bit for you guys. Not a ton, but a little bit. Like, that you like it has their own dress, their normal dresser with a mirror and shit like anyone would. And then next to it is a miniature owl-sized dresser.
They know me so well.
For putting owl vests on your owl.
Mulberry has already moved in?
Yes. He has actually already organized, and he has a mini closet just for his owl vests. He has already organized them according to the very complex system that he uses.
It's an owl girl.
Yes. That she uses.
Oh, I'm happy with this.
Yeah, and Eliza's room has had all the anti-snake propaganda removed.
A Silver one of those guys.
Silver was not a fan of snakes.
Wow.
He never made it. He wasn't like an anti-snake racist in action. He just didn't like actual snakes. He didn't have anything against Unity, but like snakes, to him were like poop, and they freaked him out beyond belief. He was a man of many phobias.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so you have your own quarters now. Muddler, who doesn't sleep, being a construct, doesn't have quarters, nor does he necessarily require them, or nor would he know what to do with them if he had them, However, he is suitably impressed with the laundry facilities. He finds them to be, if not high quality, at least well above average quality. Which, that's good. Oh, one thing, though, that we didn't actually approach as a thought, is that Prince Extellaris can't really stay overnight, as he'll be expected by his royal thingamadig.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to discuss anything with him, now is like the only real chance you're gonna get, because he's gonna be doing the thing and then leaving.
Okay, so we should let him in, if he doesn't already know that the Butts are trying to end the world, let him know about that. Let him know that we will probably need his help to go search the countryside and find this base that they've got.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Just have lots of people looking for it.
And also, like, as far as them invading the city goes, Elisa doesn't care if they wipe out the city or not, but she wants to find this thing in the countryside since that's, like, time-sensitive, apparently.
He says he would absolutely love to. However, he is there as a diplomat and to deliver a message, and he doesn't have the authority to direct the Walpian military. He's not a member of the military chain of command. He could give your request to the appropriate people who could then contemplate it, and they might have your answer probably within a few weeks of after raising the city.
I don't think you quite understand the severity of the situation here. They're trying to end the fucking world.
Have you seen our military? Let them try. We haven't lost a war in... well, pretty sure we've never lost a war.
How well does your military fare against demons?
Fairly well. Conquered 2 levels of the Abyss once and then got bored.
So have you heard of this Nightmare King that they're trying to dredge up?
Oh, that. Really? Fairy tales. Stuff to make the kids behave and go to bed on time. Next thing they're telling me is that, the Easter Bunny is St. Nicholas is gonna come or something like that. I really don't think the generals are really gonna go for fighting, imaginary beasts.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a persuasion here. 26. And tell him...
Okay, no, look. They really are summoning the Nightmare King. It really is a real thing, and we really do need to prevent that from happening. So if you can provide us any sort of scout force that can find this location so we can kill their fucking backup plan, then maybe we can prevent that, and then you can conquer this city and not have to die afterward.
Well, I mean, when you get down to it, we're all gonna die someday. You know what? I believe that you believe this. I really do. I think you're being sincere with me. But again, I don't have the authority to really do anything about that. But listen, if it makes you feel better, if it helps you at all, I can give you use of a very high class, I don't know why I said high like that, a very high class, high speed scout chariot. It's top of the line, hauled by two of the best horses we got, and if you're going somewhere, it's going to get you there fast.
I think I have another idea. So I guess we can send Extellaris on his way. I think I've got something.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, it's a nice chariot, but he just doesn't have the authority to really do anything. He can't tell the military to do something. He's entirely a figurehead.
Well, good enough, I suppose. You could be on your way.
Ah, how extremely kind of you to allow me to be on my way. Remember, when the Horde show up, let them know you're with me, you'll be fine. I'll tell them to avoid this whole church. It'll be great.
Yeah, so I'll turn away from him, put my armor on its shoulder, and say,
Okay, tomorrow morning, we're going to find Captain Butt and get the information out of him.
It sounds like a decent enough plan. I just want to shout after Extellaris if he, walks out. Apologies for its friend. She is a snake.
Don't be so hard on her. I'm sure she's a perfectly wonderful person.
Great guy.
He really is. He's very daddy.
Oh.
I guess I can just go over with what happens over the next few hours. You go to bed. You get a lovely night's sleep. When you wake up at about 7... Oh, shit, you know what? You're going to sleep in a little bit. Because you're really exhausted. And when you wake up, there are people talking about the fact that the royal Richene and the government are planning on meeting around noon, and no one really knows 100% what the reasons are, but there's been speculation that involves the possibility of a breakthrough trade deal that could bring just new wealth to both countries. And everyone is really, they're kind of freaked out by the fire at a stately Butt mansion, and by the fact that apparently a wizard got murdered, and a family of,
so sad.
Demon worshippers got murdered too. And a lot happened last night, but this new trade deal, a lot of people are thinking it's going to create jobs, and that it's really. When you get down to it, it's going to make Stab great again.
So outrageous to toll. You can